what President Trump is issuing in his latest warning of likely Iranian retaliation on the Gulf allies, where Iran has already struck, the Gulf states, affecting U.S. and Emirates military bases. And this is what President Trump has been saying in his warning, that attacking Iran could trigger retaliation against U.S. Gulf allies, despite his claims that Tehran's reaction came as a surprise. And this is now coming across as pre-war intelligence assessments, however, did not say that Iran's response was a guarantee, but it certainly was on the list of potential outcomes. And this is one that the U.S. did not expect to happen. Well, Srinjoy, this is a big admission there coming in from President Trump himself, saying that he was shocked in the way that Iran retaliated. Well, they expected retaliation to such an extent, but not on the Gulf nations.
Well, what we are hearing is that this could well have been discussed. Now, the problem is that there are often inputs that are disregarded. Now, for instance, the Straits of Hormuz issue. Now, during the briefings before the war, before the first bomb was dropped, didn't this issue come up? Didn't the fact that the Iranians would stop the Straits of Hormuz come up during the discussions, during the war planning? Surely you would imagine that the American intelligence officials would have said, well, we can go to war, but the Iranians are going to close the Straits of Hormuz. And if they do, these are the problems that we are going to face, the world is going to face. Now, this should have certainly come up in the planning, during the planning time. Also, attacks on Gulf nations. Now, why is that so surprising? Now, surely you would expect the Iranians to know what the weakness was. And the weakness is oil. Now, if oil is the weakness, is the soft underbelly, then clearly you target not just close down the Straits of Hormuz, but you target the refineries and in the Gulf states, like Saudi Arabia, like Bahrain, which has happened even more recently, and other places. And Fujairah for a good reason, because Fujairah is geographically at an advantage, which is why it has been targeted. So you would expect the Iranians, as part of its war planning, to say, okay, well, we will hit
infrastructure, not just military, civilian as well, oil and energy, financial hubs, and even now tech industries is now said to be coming under attack, as far as this warning and the latest one that has been issued on part of Iran. Let's for now listen into what President Trump said.
Our powerful military campaign to end the threats posed by the Iranian regime continued in full force over the past few days. They have been literally obliterated. The Air Force is gone. The Navy is gone. Many ships have been sunk. They're war-fighting ships, but I guess they didn't know how to use them. And anti-aircraft is decimated, their radar is gone, and their leaders are gone. Other than that, they're doing quite well. Since the beginning of the conflict, we've struck more than 7,000 targets across Iran, and these have been mostly commercial and military targets. We've achieved a 90% reduction in their ballistic missile launches and a 95% reduction in drone attacks. The missiles are trickling in now at very low levels because they don't have too many missiles left. We've also attacked the manufacturing plants, where the places where they manufacture the missiles and the drones. And that's going on today. We just hit 3 of them today. And it's getting very hard for them to manufacture. More than 100 Iranian naval vessels have been sunk or destroyed over the last week and a half.
Well, in the same breath where he says that Iranian military system is being decimated by the powerful U.S. military, however, there has been an expression of shock and surprise as well, saying that they never anticipated that Iran will hit the ally Gulf states.
We were talking about Iran a couple times today and what they did after Epic Fury began. You said they hit Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait. Nobody expected that. We were shocked. Are you surprised that nobody briefed you ahead of time that that might be their retaliation?
Nobody, no. The greatest experts, nobody thought they were going to hit. They were, I wouldn't say friendly countries. They were like neutral. They lived with them for years. Peter, they were going to take over the Middle East. They were going to knock out Israel with their nuclear weapon. But after we knocked out their nuclear potential weapon, they started building missiles, thousands and thousands of missiles.
Well, there's another breaking update coming in. What is being said that the Gulf states are now urging the U.S. not to leave Iran's threat to be unchecked, as the tensions in the Strait of Hormuz, which has escalated while stopping short of calling for war. Leaders want Iran's power to be degraded to protect the region's oil lifeline and also economies. Sources say that Washington is also pressing Gulf states to join the U.S.-Israel campaign, seeking regional background to bolster legitimacy. Well, Srinjoy, because most of these countries in a way are indirectly involved, but now President Trump is wanting an all-out war, an all-out regional war as far as the involvement of the Gulf states are also concerned, because they are being hit and they have been acting in defense.
Yes, the thing is, if you had not worked that out before the war, then you're at a disadvantage. You should have known that the Straits of Hormuz would be closed. You should have known that Iran, in an effort to close down oil production or oil refining, would have attacked refineries in the Gulf. And they've done exactly that. That should have been worked out during the war planning. And maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But here, that there is talk that the Americans were taken by surprise, that the Gulf states were attacked. Now, what are you going to do about it? That's the big question. Because if you didn't plan on it, and now that these states have been attacked and they've been hit, badly hit in some cases, Bahrain refineries have been attacked. Saudi Arabia refineries have been attacked. So this is hurting this is hurting the Gulf countries.
Yes,
it's
because,
also,
multiple times this question has been raised that acting in self-defense, why aren't the Gulf countries now hitting back at Iran as far as jointly, being a part of the United States and Israel operation and carrying out strikes at Iran? Because for now, these countries seems to be in a defensive mode, because already IRGC has been issued warning saying that it doesn't matter even if there are allies, because the Gulf nations need to take a stand if they are hosting U.S. forces, military infrastructure, civilian infrastructure, Srinjoy, then for Iran, they become automatically legitimate targets. So this question often has been raised. Why aren't the Gulf nations hitting back?
yeah, the point is the Gulf nations have to hit back. They have no choice. They have air defense systems. And the only way they can stop Iranian missiles, Iranian drones, is with the air defense systems. Now what we are hearing, in the world there's a shortage of air defense systems, shortage of air defense missiles, because the Ukrainians are using it, the Saudi Arabians are using it, the Kuwaitis are using it, the people of Bahrain are using it, the people of UAE are using it, and of course the Americans are using it. So if everyone in the world is using air defense systems of a certain kind, manufactured by the US, there could well be a shortage. The Ukrainians have talked about a shortage, not fairly recently. So it's important to note that this should have been taken care of before the war began. You should have assumed that, or estimated the fact that the Gulf countries would be attacked. And if the Gulf countries...
The objective of Iran also, while it comes to, hitting the Gulf nations, it wants the countries to take a stand against the US, saying that because of the US interest, well, it seems that the other nations are being dragged unnecessarily into a war, and their economies in a way and their images in a way that have also been hit as far as once being touted to be the safest cities in the world. Please do stay on with us, Srinjoy, because what is